So what's more important? Somebody's age or their level? What's more important? The person's age or the levels that they're on? So I haven't watched that Love Island thing. I don't intend to watch it. I'm not in jail. Yeah, why am I watching and sitting down wasting my time watching Love Island and that? But you know, each to their own. And if you want to watch it as a man, you do it. It's more for the girl in a minute, but cool. But man saw something online, and I think there was a 19-year-old girl. She got paired up with a guy that's 27, for example. And then people was trying to call the man the pedo and all the P word and that. And I was just thinking, like, blood, like, I mean, yeah, the age gap is a bit big, but you know what? It's just a dating show or that. And you know what? Some people, I think there's been people in the past, they've actually paired up, they won it, and they've actually gone on to be together, maybe even had a youth. I'm sure there's one example at least. So yeah, if a man gets paired up with a 27-year-old girl, he might fall for her and that, and then, you know, it could actually progress outside of the show, whether or not they win. Obviously, the age gap does matter and does come into play at certain points in people's lives and that. So let's say, for example, if a guy is 28 and a girl is 20, yeah, that 8-year age gap is a little bit big. Fine. As people get older and that, there comes a time when an 8 or 10-year age gap don't really mean anything. So if a 40-year-old woman is with a 50-year-old man or vice versa, I don't think it really means that much. If someone is 50, another person is 60, it don't mean that much. Definitely, when someone's and this is just a hypothetical situation, and that if someone is 90 and the other person's 110, it won't flipping matter. Once you get past a certain age, it don't matter. When it comes to like a 10-year gap. Now, I did meet a tenant not too long ago, and I was telling my gal about this. And this tenant, this old woman is like between the age of about 70 and 80 years old, you know? And she said, yeah, my daughter, her husband is 30 years older than her. And I was like, raw. That boy in my head, obviously, innit? I'm thinking like, raw, 30 years older than her. Like, at no point really is an age gap of 30 suitable, acceptable. You understand what I'm trying to say in it? Because I'm trying to think to myself, well, how old is this girl? If she's 30 and he's 60, that's mad. If she's 40 and he's 70, that's mad. You know, if she's 50 and he's 80, that's nuts. The only time, like I said, the only time the age gap in that won't matter is if someone's 100 and another person 130. But that is almost impossible in that. So I think to myself, that age gap there, that's kind of mad, you know, 30 years and that. My honest opinion, yeah, maybe the age gap between a 27-year-old and a 19-year-old is quite big. Especially because the younger the person gets, the more dramatic an age gap is. For example, someone might say a 4-year age gap between a 30-year-old and a 34-year-old is nothing, and I agree, I think it's nothing. But the age gap between a 16-year-old and a 20-year-old, is much more vast than a 30-year-old and a 34-year-old. Especially like an 18-year-old and a 14-year-old. Because when you're young, you're in the stages of development and that your mind's in a different place. I think it's quite like a young, immature mentality to be worrying about age. My gal, she's like 7 or 8 years older than me. I don't even feel the age gap. She tells me she feels like she's younger than me. When you're a certain way as a man, it don't even matter about the age gap between you and a gal if she's older than you. If she respects you, if you're a dominant man, she will feel like she's younger than you when she's considerably older than you. When you're a certain way, when you got certain levels about you, it don't matter about the age gap. Some people though, like I said, if they're not mature and that, the age thing is a lot for them. I've met girls in the past who is like 8 years older than me, 7 years older than me. And they say, you know, like you're still kind of young and that. And I just think to myself, does it really matter about how old I am? When you're a certain way, when you got certain levels about you, the age gap thing don't even matter. But there are some girls, let's say for example, I'm almost 30 now, yeah, I'm 29 now, I'm almost 30, let's call it I'm 30, yeah. I can meet a gal who's, I don't know, 37, 38, same age as my gal. I can meet a gal and she could be like, you know, you're too young for me because you're 7, 8 years younger than me. But it's like, What have you achieved in your life? See, me, I'm a man. Man don't judge people by their age, you know. Man judge people by their mindset and by what you've achieved. Yeah, I'm very goal orientated and that. There's some people, they feel like they've accomplished stuff just because of their age, because they've made it to the age of 40 or 35 and that. Me, nah. What have you achieved in that time? Me, I'm a man. I measure, especially other men, I measure men by what you've achieved. That's how man think. That's why man's so ambitious. That's why man's so on it and that. I can meet a girl who's 7, 8 years older than me and she can say, oh, you're young though, innit? Yeah, but this is the same girl who buns weed. This is the same girl living in a council house. Yeah? Me, I'm a man. I've got 2 properties in the UK, 1 in the next country. I'm in the process of buying my 3rd one. Most gal, most man, most human beings can't even talk like that. Most human beings can't even say that. But a girl will still be older than me by 7 years and that. And like I said, when you get to certain ages and that, a 30-year-old dating a 37-year-old is nothing. Certain girl who's immature in their mind, or certain man that's immature in their mind might think, oh no, you're too young for me and that. Nah, you shouldn't judge people based upon their age and that. So long as obviously you can identify, yeah, this person's a mature person, I can have a mature conversation with them. You should be judging people by what they've achieved. I know most people, like me, I feel like man's, what's the word? A prodigy. Obviously, you call a prodigy a child that's ahead of his time, but me, I'm a prodigy. I'm a man, I'm ahead of my time. From when I was 20 years old, people used to tell me all the time, you're an old head on young shoulders and that. I know man's level is far superior and far advanced than most people my age. I know, because I know a man who's my age getting excited, posting videos of them wearing a Rolex watch and that, when man should be thinking about buying a property. See, certain man are still stuck in a time zone. Their mind is not in the right place. That's an immature mind thinking about buying a Rolex watch. A mature person will think to themselves, you know what, man got youths, you know, man need to start putting down things for my youths so that, you know, I can hand things down to them when I'm getting older or whatever. It give them a little bit of a head start and that. Make no sense. It make no sense. Literally, I can meet a girl who's 40, 10 years older than man. And I'm sad that I cannot even say that someone who's 40 is actually only 10 years older than me. That's how you know man's getting old, isn't it? I can meet a girl that's 40 and she can say, oh, you're too young for me and that. But she could be living in a council house, she could be bunning weed like a cat. She could have no properties, she could literally have not achieved nothing in her life. Working in a shop, no degree, no skill, no trade, nothing. She's just existed for 40 years. And she'll look at me and say, oh, no, you're too young for me and that. But what have you achieved? I judge people based upon what they achieve. I don't judge people based upon their Ross Clark age. Obviously, there is still a bit like, man still respect people, you get me, show people who's older than me a little bit, tiny bit more respect. You understand? Man make a little bit of allowance and that. But other than that, nah, man, you can't even look, you couldn't even look at me as the same age as, same level as you. Funny, a girl could actually say, yeah, man, you're too young for me and that, like, get me, you're 10 years younger than me or whatever, innit, yeah? But the last set of man that you dated, all of the man them that you dated are just bums. Man that can't afford to live in their own property. Man that have to live in a girl's yard. Man that don't have no skill, no trade, no degree. Man that do deliveries. Man that work as postmen and that. Man that have idiot jobs. But me personally, I could not, let's say a man's 20, died 30 years old. Me personally, I could not date and be with a girl in a serious relationship who's 19. Forget about the age thing. No 19-year-old girl on this planet, there may be 1 or 2 and I will never meet them, would be at the same level as me for me to say, yeah, this is an equal to man. Because what have they achieved? They're still fucking in university. They're still living at their mum's yard or whatever, innit? Yeah, they're still saving up to get there. They don't even care about property. They don't even care about family planning. Because their levels, their mindset is not in the right place. Maybe if I met a girl that's 22 that was on levels of that, then maybe, yeah, a girl like that, I can say, yeah, okay, that girl could be a good suitor. But most 22-year-old girls, what's this thing they call city girls and that? Or hot girls, they're on that. Man ain't on that. That's why I can never be with a girl that's younger than me by like 5-6 years. It ain't nothing to do with the age and that. I feel like I'm their dad. Literally, I'll talk to them like I'm their dad. I'll tell them how to plan and map out their life and that. These girls are still on to boys that, like I said, are wearing Rolex watches and that. Foolishness, man. So for me, the age thing, you know, like when there's like an age gap of like 5-6 years and that, it ain't got nothing to do with the age gap. It's the mindset, it's your levels and that. What have you achieved? What are you trying to achieve? But obviously immature people just think about, oh, you know, just the number and that's it. But you could be the same man that's not achieved nothing at the same age. What difference does it make? Yeah. Like I say, there could be a gal watching this right now who's 35, 40 years old. I think, oh, he's too young for me and that. What you achieved? Nothing. You had a youth when you was 20 something. Yeah, the youth's all 14, 15 right now. Yeah, you're broke. You're living on a breadline and that. You can't chat to man. Stay wise, don't know.